Today on Platts Energy Week, a leading private equity firm seeks a bigger stake in North America's power markets. Then a new venture aims to help utilities take technology to a higher level. But first, the battle over renewable fuels. Will a solution be found before a blend wall is hit? You're watching Platts Energy Week, connecting policy, markets, and trends. Hello, I'm Bill Loveless, and welcome to Platts Energy Week. One of the hottest energy battles in Washington this year has been waged between the U.S. oil refiners and makers of ethanol. The bone of contention is the Renewable Fuel Standard, which Congress established in 2007 to promote the use of ethanol and other biofuels. Thanks to that law, ethanol now represents about 10% of the fuel consumed in vehicles. The question is whether that share should increase as Congress originally intended. I'm joined today by two leaders in the debate, Charles Drevner, the president of the American Fuel and Petrochemical Manufacturers, and Bob Dinneen, president and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association. Gentlemen, welcome back to the program.
Good to be here again.
Thank you.
You know, there seems to be a general agreement that the refiners and ethanol makers have hit a blend wall, that the U.S. is not making enough gasoline right now to accommodate all of the ethanol that the law would require. But when it comes to solutions, the two of you seem very far apart. Is that a fair assessment?
I think it's more than fair. I think it's absolutely accurate. Not that we're far apart on the use of ethanol. I mean, in the refining industry, ethanol in proper quantities is a good bloodstock. What's happened, Bill, over time is we've seen that really a flawed policy that was enacted in 2007 has morphed into an abject failed policy in 2013. If you look at all the assumptions that were made under that law, they've proven to be false. And so what we're looking at now, as you mentioned, is the ethanol blend wall. But in your introduction, though, you mentioned that this is an oil or refining industry versus ethanol. Well, that's only part of the story. Bill, there are a plethora of other organizations, non-industry, non-refining industry organizations and entities who have come out and said, wait a minute, we've got to take another look at this thing. And you're talking food, you're talking environmental groups, you're talking World Hunger Groups.
There's a number of groups that have weighed in on
yes,
this from your side as well, and I understand that. But Bob, I mean, the blend wall, I mean, how do you see the blend wall?
Well, I see it as a creation of the oil industry that is just fighting the increased use of ethanol and other renewable fuels till their dying breath. Look, they say that you can't use more than 10% ethanol. That's just not true. You can sell ethanol today as E85 in flex-fueled vehicles. You could sell ethanol as E15 to 2001 in newer vehicles. The blend wall is a creation of their own making because they don't want to make the investments in infrastructure for E85. They don't want to allow their franchisees to offer E15 to consumers. This is about consumer choice. They don't want to allow it. They want to keep us addicted to oil. And we and many others, there's a strong coalition in support of our position as well, want to allow the consumer to make the choice and want us to move beyond petroleum for our liquid transportation fuels. We will do that if you allow the renewable fuel standard to continue in place and to be implemented as the statute currently requires. They want to repeal it. We think it has been a tremendously successful energy policy that needs to be continued.
Well, Charlie, the infrastructure, let's get at that. I mean, why not? Why isn't there more infrastructure in this country? I know there's concerns of a warranty for vehicles and all, but why isn't there more infrastructure? Why can't you find more E15, which EPA has, in fact, authorized for vehicles that have been on the road since 2001?
Good question. Well, let me answer that by addressing Bob's points. Bob has some great sound bites. Unfortunately, they're not accurate. First of all, no one is saying that you can't sell E15, but we are not going to take the responsibility for the liability for it. If you look at, and Bob also mentions that it's good in 2001 vehicles on. Well, there was a letter that was sent to Congressman Sensenbrenner from every auto manufacturer, 11 or 12 of them, categorically stating they will not warranty vehicles that over E10.